Hey guys, how you doing? Alex coming to you from the garage, and today we're working on the ZR-1. We are going to install a set of long tube headers on the ZR-1. You guys have seen that the ZR-1 has been as quick as a 6.8, 60 to 130 on Sunoco 260 GT. The current mods on the ZR-1 is just pulley and a tune and race gas. That's pretty much it. So today we're going to go ahead and install a set of American racing headers. Rami Zaidan from 2 Auto Solutions was nice enough to get me a set because I really couldn't find a set, and I really didn't want to do the research because I'm lazy, but he owns a ZR-1 and he's like, Alex, these are 2-inch primary headers. I suggest putting them on, and after doing a lot of research online, it seems like it's not a terrible job. I'm not saying it's easy, but not terrible. And again, this isn't my primary vehicle. I already have something on jack stands over here waiting for the Wonder Racing motor. It's just kind of chilling there until the right time comes to get the motor and the transmission, and this guy might as well get some headers in there. I think I ordered them a couple of months ago, so it took a while for them to get here. Of course, we got to get it up in the air. Of course, I bought another set of Harbor Freight 6-ton jacks because this one is using all the other 4 to put it up in the air. Some gloves and all that stuff, but let's unbox it. Let's see what it looks like, then get it up in the air. Try to do I don't want to do a step-by-step, but I want to just, if I come across any issues or anything like that, I'll show them to you. I'm gonna have to drain the oil because the oil lines are gonna be in the way. So because it is a dry sump system, it's got oil feed lines coming from the feed and return lines. So I'm gonna have to take them off, and to take them off, you gotta drain the oil. So the fresh oil that I put in there, I'm gonna try to recapture and put it right back in there. I'm not gonna get brand new oil when this probably has 30 miles on the oil that I put in it. Right, enough talking. Let's unbox the American Racing long tube headers for C6 ZR1s. Let me try to frame the shot as best I could. Okay. Good size box. Actually, with SVT is going to be getting the GT500 headers, so I'll try to reuse this box. But yep, this be the box. So okay, what we got? Looks like it's the H pipe. Interesting. We got some high flow caps. Very interesting. So it looks like I definitely will be running a legal system. So that's interesting. Interesting. That's gonna be fun to watch. That's gonna be fun to watch. I think they'll be the axle pipes. Okay. So yeah, so if I want to run free flowing exhaust, I think I'm shit out of luck. So we'll see what all happens here. I guess I really shouldn't be surprised that there's catalytic converters. See, I thought this was going to have free flowing exhaust, but obviously in the new world we live in, it'd be really silly for ARH to sell anything without catalytic converters, for lack of a better word. Now this is going to be the issue, guys. Understand this, okay? You guys need to be made aware. These cats will throw codes on a stock setup. These cats will throw P0420, P0430 codes on your setup. Why? They flow too well. They simply flow too well. If you look closely, you might be able to see right through. See? So if you can see right through that clearly, that tells me that there's not enough material to make a big difference between the front O2 sensor and the rear O2 sensor. So once the car takes a reading off of this O2, and by the time it gets past the cat and this O2, if it senses too much flow on between the front sensor and the rear sensor, it's going to throw a P0420, P0430 code, which is a catalytic inefficiency system code. And this is the issue with the aftermarket. The aftermarket is going to end up finding out really quickly that tuners can't manipulate the tune for a high flow catalytic converter. It literally doesn't make sense. What you're going to have to do is try to make a false bigger differential between the front and rear. So that means some kind of extension, some kind of spacer, some kind of eliminator to move the O2 sensor away or to have a bigger differential so that the car doesn't trip a code. So aftermarket manufacturers of exhaust, if they tell you that the tuner has to manipulate the tune in order to get rid of the P0420, P0430 codes, they are wrong. Legally, tuners cannot manipulate that at all. Now, if there was no CAD here, I would say I expect a P0420, 430 code because there's no CAD here. But since there's a CAD here, a lot of people are under the impression that you won't get codes. That's incorrect. You're going to get codes. So me knowing that, I'm literally going to have to ignore the P0420, 430 codes and hope that it doesn't hinder performance on this specific application. Right, let's keep unboxing and see what the rest of the headers look like. Okay. So ARH headers are usually pretty badass headers, and this is no exception. 2-inch primary. I've had ultimate headers most of my life, and this is a good example of what the difference would be between an ultimate header and an American racing header. Now these are fine, these look really good, but when I talk to you guys about American racing headers, I'm going to show you the difference. And for those of you that know what you're looking at, the difference will be hopefully night and day. God damn it, I can't get this thing flat. There we go. So this is an ARH header. See how the flanges are welded? Let's take a look at that's an ultimate header flange, and this is a ARH flange. Okay, and then we'll look at the inside of the ultimate header flange. See the difference? Oopsie. Versus just showing you the differences. And when I talk about ultimate header, there's a reason I talk about ultimate header a certain way. These ARHs are awesome quality, but I really wish Ultimate Header made them for the ZR-1 platform because, in my opinion, really badass. And this is a GT500 Ultimate Header. I'm sorry, GT500 ARH. These are with SVT's headers that I got to box up. So this is a GT500 ARH. Hell, this is a BBK. That's a BBK. ARH. Ultimate header. All right. Again, nothing against them at all. Just showing you a comparison and why I run a lot of Ultimate Header stuff on Ford stuff. That's why I wish Ultimate Header did stuff on everything. All right, let's get these ARHs in there, and we'll see what codes are thrown with this high flow cat. It'll be an interesting subject to talk about, but I'm blabbing a little too much. Let's get to work. Okay, since I recently did the spark plugs, now I'm gonna have to take them out again. So rip the cover off, take the spark plugs out. No magic, no need to show you that, but you know, the bolts are pretty easy to get to, but I'll show you that when I get to it. Alright, so that bolt is going to be a doozy. So instead of taking my time videoing it, let me just work on getting it out. This one. So I'll work on getting it out and then I'll get after it. I forgot that I had big tools to do this job, so leverage is 100% your friend. So driver's side is a lot easier to get to. I'm not doing the cam and heads on this car. Someone else is doing that, so I'll start saving up about $5,000 just to have someone do the cam and heads. No way am I gonna do that, because sometimes you just gotta kind of like know your limits. Alrighty, all the bolts are out. Every single freaking bolt is out of there. Let's get into the car. I think this is the O2, so I'm gonna disconnect that on both sides, get underneath, undo the flange. So yeah, let's get underneath and do some work under the car. Alright, I had to gain a little more clearance under the car. It's really not easy, but I'm able to get some turns on this guy. Sensors here, pre and post cat. So I gotta see where the pre-cat O2 is. It's still connected to the harness. Here it is, right here. So if you're using this video as a tutorial, well, God bless you. But there is the secondary O2 connection. Okay, unplugged it from said harness. And the other one was like in the engine bay, so that's that. So let's work on getting this guy off, see how much of a pain in the ass it is. Oh, it's gonna be a 50-hour long video, but I'll condense it to something manageable. Oh, you fucking cunt. Oh my god, everything by myself. Everything by myself. Alright, so people said it's easy to slide this off. Let's see how full of shit they are. They said it was cake. The bolts are out. They're lying already because the steering shaft's in the way. Well, I got the passenger side off. I'm sorry, driver's side. YouTube says just disconnect the bottom flange. It comes right out, and then the manifold drops right off. Well, they failed to tell you that if those bolts are seized and stripped and junk, your life's going to be hell. But you know, luckily, there's another YouTube tutorial that tells you how to cut off the fucking cats off a car, and no one is a bigger expert than the people that steal cats from cars. And who's their favorite manufacturer? Milwaukee. So yeah, I ripped them off. I wasn't about to fuck around, screwing out with bullshit. I'm not going to put these back on. So rip them right out. See you later. So now I'm going to work on the passenger side. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to cut the cap right by the manifold. Fuck this soft, nice shit. Just rip it out because it's never going back in. Well, finally, after a lot of time and a couple of Sawzall blades, I stopped listening to people and let me just do it my way. Everyone wanted me to disconnect pretty much the motor. And yeah, no, these aren't going back in. Chopped them in a couple places, bada bing, bada boom, and they're out from the bottom. So hopefully the headers go in from the bottom without much finagling, but reading their vast instructions tells me that I think we're gonna, potentially there's a part there that says something about trimming something. So I'll put it all up loosely, see how everything goes. With the high flow cats, it's not gonna be as aggressive. I'm a little bummed about that, but again, nothing a welder and a piece of pipe can't fix, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. All right, let's get these guys on. Let's see how the car sounds. Whew, feels like I never left. So obviously I didn't video any of the install because it was ridiculous. It was a ridiculously difficult install. Nothing went right, and we've all had those issues where nothing goes right in an install, so you're just like, I'm just gonna get it done. So I obviously did not take any time to film any of it, but I gotta clean up the garage. I got boxes everywhere. I'm gonna get you a startup sound. Let the I'm sure there's grease and stuff all over the header, so I'm gonna let it run for a little bit and burn off any excess stuff, check for leaks and stuff like that. But then you'll be able to hear what it sounds like with long tube headers with high flow cats. Unfortunately, that's the way they sell them. So let me get set up. Let me get you a startup clip, drive it outside, and then we'll be able to clean the garage a little bit and talk about how everything went. But for now, let's get to a sound clip. So I gotta check. Pressure. So there's a sensor that was down there that was acting up, but I got to check engine light, so I wonder why. It wasn't an oil pressure sensor, so I want to get the laptop and read the codes quick. It's probably cat inefficiency codes if I was to guess, P0420, P0430, but not 100% sure as to what's going on. But that's enough. It burned off the excess, and I'll talk about how everything went. So again, do you think it sounds any different, or it's about the same as before?
I honestly can't tell.
Same? To you?
To me, to my untrained ear, yes.
Sounds the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then again, I wouldn't know.
See, the thing is, it came with catalytic converters, so I'm like, all right, it's not going to be as aggressive, but I could tell the difference. It's slight, but I could tell the difference. But I was like, untrained ears, like, it sounds the same. All that work and it sounds the same.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Why, you snorting? See, and it smells like rotten egg.
I do see the smell difference.
That's that high flow catalytic converter, and it's just like, they're not gonna stay on long term. Fuck that, because it just doesn't make sense.
Just cut out this part, but your cheekbones look so nice on camera.
This?
Yeah.
Okay. No burnouts or nothing. I'm just gonna, just like last time, but I want you to take it from the side, like get under those trees and just pan as smooth as you can, me leaving.
Do you want to make it one continuous
Yeah, one
video?
continuous, just. It's easier to edit that way. Thank you. If a bum's around, run, okay?
If a what the what?
Bum is around?
Oh, whoops. Here?
And then the smoothest panning you can. Just follow the car, look at the camera, don't look at me.
Do you want me to zoom in as you go?
No, it's more about the sound.
Okay, go ahead.
So yeah, there you go. So that was it. So the tuning is being handled. I'm working my way towards it, but the install took me about 12 hours. Theoretically, if I didn't have to cut off the cats, it probably would have been 8 hours. So yeah, there you go. Hopefully you got an outside perspective as to how it sounds with cats. Again, this is going to be free-flowing exhaust because I don't trust big power cars with catalytic converters in an on-road application. Off-road, when I'm racing, I'll throw on an off-road H or X pipe and be good to go. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. That was a long time installing this thing. I was not happy and I'm never going to do it again. Fuck that. And the next step is probably getting it on the dyno, dialing everything in and see how much power it makes. Thanks for listening, guys. Talk to you later.